Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi washabbihi ajmain. Amma ba'du. The Honorable Ma'am Hafifa Rayu PD, Lecturer of Second Language Acquisition, and all of my friends. Today, I'm Turmedi Bahtiar as a moderator who will lead you in the discussion in second language acquisition with the title learner language. In this discussion, I will divide it into 4 sessions. The first session is opening. The second is explaining the materials. In this session, I give the speakers about 15 minutes to explain the materials, and the third session is Q&A session. I'll be dividing this session into 2 terms. The first term is to chance for the questioners, and the second term is for the audience. In this session, if you have a question, if I allow you to ask some question, please mention your name and mention your question. And the third session is the fourth session is closing. Before we start the discussion today, I will introduce for you the presentators today. The first speaker is,
my name is Syamsul Arifin as the first speaker,
and the second speaker,
Bustami as the second speaker,
and the third speaker,
Rayu Srikandi as third speaker,
and the fourth speaker.
Rindi Safitri, the last.
Okay, let's start the discussion today by reciting basmalah together.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
To the presenter, please explain your materials.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this beautiful morning, we would like to discuss about the learner language. Here, I'm Syamsul Arifin with my partner. They are 3 speakers today, and we would like to discuss about the learner language. So start from the first. Before we continue about something, we have to know about what is the learner language. What is the learner language? Learner language is the synonym of interlanguage. We know about the EL. Learner language is referred to language produced by a learner of a second language and differences state of their development. This is what is the learner language. And the language being learned is sometimes called by the target language. We have to know about the TL. Learner language can be very different from the target language and public research or second language acquisitions. So that learner language is produced by a built-in syllabus which is different from the syllabus that the teacher uses. Here, there are some many points from the learner language. Learner language able to provide the researcher with insight into the process of acquisitions. Most researchers agreed that learner language is the most important source of information about how learners learn about the L2 or we know about the second language. Here, these are the approach to the description of learner language. There are 4 points here. The first is the study of learner or error and error analysis. As you know, they are about the ER. The second is the study of development of patterns, and the third, the study of variability, and the last is the study of pragmatic features. Maybe that's it from me. If you have want to listen So the next material we will discuss about with my partner. I give you
Okay, thank you. For the next presenter,
Okay, thank you, moderator. And just as the previous speaker yesterday, well, I'm sorry. Okay, so there are four of approach in learner language. The first is study of learner errors and error analysis. And the second is the study of the developmental pattern ending. Okay, those are being explained by myself. Okay, we go to the point of the study of learner errors or with error analysis. Learners make errors in both production and comprehension. For example, a learner make errors in comprehension when the learner misunderstands the sentence of "pass me the paper" with the "pass me the paper." And the error analysis is the first approach to study of SLA, which is included in the internal factors of learner activity to construct language. There are procedure of analyzing errors with EA. The first is collection of sample of learner language, and then identification of errors, description of errors, and explanation of errors, and the last is evaluation of errors. And his analysis, the error analysis, is continue to be useful procedure for study of SLA. But because there are many weaknesses, and then it continue to serve. It cannot be continued to serve the primary goal of SLA analysis. And the next is the study of developmental patterns. Researchers then consider that there are a number of ways to identify developmental patterns. One common method is obligatory occasion analysis, as the basic procedure is to collect samples of naturally occurring learner language, identifying the use of specific target language features in the data, and the third is the percentage of the accurate use of the feature is then calculated. The problem with obligatory occasion analysis is that it takes no account of when a learner uses the feature in context for which is not obligatory in the target language. And I think that's the explanation for me. I will give it back to the moderator. Thank you.
thank you. And the next presenter, Rayu.
Next is about the study of variability. There are three approaches to resolving. First is homogeneous sentence model, which variation is in a feature of performance rather than underlying knowledge system. Second is a social linguistic one. The goal of social linguistics is about language in relation to social context. Third is psycholinguistic, which to account for the variation in result from factor in influence the learner ability to process second language knowledge under different conditions to use. Next, study of pragmatic feature. Pragmatic is referred to field of study where linguistic features are considered in relation to user in language. The study of learner language pragmatic in the second language acquisition has focused on unspoken than writing, because ability to perform speech in face-to-face interaction may be distinct from the ability need in writing medium. Therefore, if study interlanguage pragmatic one's program, it will need examine written as well spoken learner language. That's all from me.
Thank you. And to the next presenter, Rayu.
Okay, I want to explain point F about the good language learner. According to it is necessary for teachers to observe language learners and isolate those strategies and characteristics that make some according to Rubin. It's like the teacher using how to transfer it to students who are less proficient, proficient with everyday teaching methodologies, and what's that? Teacher can enlighten the part of less successful learners to their language development. And some of these good language learners characteristics that Rubin consider are: the first one, they are willing to grasp and are comfortable with uncertainty. And the second one, they are willing to try everything to get nonverbal communication, such as meaning across and communicate in the gesture or mimicking to convey target language. Next, good language learners are unihibits. Next, they look for grammar pattern in their speech and those of others who speak the target language. The good language learner constantly looks for opportunities to practice the language.
Okay, thank you. Next we move to the Q&A session. I give chance for the listeners.
Okay, thank you, Dr. My name is Syamsul Arifin. In point C, there are a number of ways to try to identify developmental pattern. And my question is, please give another examples how to identify developmental patterns besides of obligatory occasional analysis.
Listeners, do you have a question?
My name is Sulala Wulandari. I will write in the class. In point B, the study of letters error and error analysis. There are have 5 procedures for analysis error with English analysis research. Are collection of sample, identification, description, explanation, and evaluation. Can you give me an example how to analyze learner's error by using this all procedure?
Well, thank you for for giving me time to deliver my questions. And Ms. Wahyuni will discuss in point B the study of learner's error and error analysis. As we know in the paper that learner make error both in production and comprehension. But this paper just mentioned the example of comprehension error. And can you give me example of production error on this point?
Discuss. Okay, I give you 3 to 5 minutes discuss it.
Okay, I wanna answer the question for Robiatul Andawiyah. And the question is, example, how you identify the fundamental pattern design of obligatory occasional analysis? The answer, there are a number of different ways to identify the fundamental pattern. Another example is by examining whether learners' error changes over time. A second way is to examine samples of learning language collect over a period of time in order to identify when specific linguistic feature emerge. According to this approach, acquisition is defined as first occurrence in use in first language acquisition but less common in SLA. Okay,
Okay, so I will answer the second question by Sulala Wulandari. The question is, give example how to analysis learner error by using dual procedure. Is that correct? Okay. So in applying the procedure to analyze learner errors, on the first step is the collection of a sample of the database. So in the first step, we need to collect the samples for the analysis, and then after that, after we collect the data, we we identify if there is an error or not in the sample. For example, we have identified that a learner misunderstood a word paper with a pepper. And then we move to the next step is description of error, in which we, after the error have identified and described, the next step is we need to describe the learner's error, which in this case of paper with pepper is categorized into comprehension error. And in the explanation error step, we try to explain why the error is happened. And it is happened, the misunderstood of word is happened because inability to discriminate about the A and E and A. While out of the fourth step is based on examination of the error learner itself, the last step evaluation of error is based on the listener or the where the sentence is addressed to. And the evaluation is varied, so it's according to whether they are a native speaker or non-native speaker. And I think that's the example that for the analysis using the procedure.
Okay, I will answer the question from Wahyuni. Could you give me an example of procedure error by learner in SLA? Okay. Learner do make an error in procedure. For example, learner in Indonesia may have production error when they want to say, saya membagikan buah untuk teman-teman tadi malam, which is translated to I divide the fruit for friends last night. Learner with production errors by the absence of past form of verb which bound or verb ed. This occurs because of senseless case in second language or Indonesian. This would be correct into I divided or gave the fruit for friends last night.
Okay, for the audience, if you have questions, please raise your hand. Okay. Rindi, Salma, and Sulan. Please, Mr. Rindi.
Alright. My name is Sulala Wulandari, we are from Haji and my question is for the E-point. As far as I know, Presentator is the brand of linguistic dealing with language in use. And the context is with it is used, right?
Right.
And my question is, could you please explain more about the study of practice and give me example of this? My question, could you explain more about the study of practice? Study, yeah. And give me example.
Okay. I get to the point. Thank you. Okay. The next question from Ms. Salma.
Okay, thank you, moderator. My question is, in your paper, the second approach for study of variability is sociolinguistic one. Its goal is to study language in relation to social context. What is the relation of sociolinguistic with SLA?
What is relations
Between
socialistic and SLA?
yeah.
Okay, next question from Mr. Sukan.
Okay, thank you to the moderator for the question. And my question is about in your paper that explain about learner language. And my question is, what is the step to create a new instructional model for teaching language? And can you give me some method or best method, especially in this globalization era? What to teach to learner second language especially? My question is, what are the steps to create a new instructional model or teaching language? And do you give the best method to, especially in this globalization era, or as we know that as technology era, and that can, what's that? The best method that to use, especially for beginner. Maybe that's all.
This is, no, sorry, your question is what is the method?
I have two questions.
Okay, what is the method? I'm sorry, I it's not clear.
Okay, I will begin once again. Okay. My question is, what are the steps to create a new instructional model for teaching language? And the second is, do you have the best method to learn a second language, especially in this globalization era, as we know that as technological
Okay,
era?
I get your question.
You want to discuss
Business of content.
I'll give you 10 seconds.
1 minute.
Okay, here I would like to answer about the second questions. Second question is, what is the realization of social mistake with SLA? So the answer is, my answer is, social linguistics seek to account for the different evidence in different various in English. For example, from one dialect to another, researchers aim to describe both learners' linguistic and social linguistic competence. They are concerned with both what learner know about the learning second language system, and with what they know about how it is used in communications. And according to Labov and other social linguistics, social factors such as social class, age, ethnic, and genders can account for differences among speakers. An example of such is the differences in a number of dialects in accordance with the social factors. I mean like this.
Okay.
Can you satisfy?
Okay, I would like to answer about the Mr. Sulhan questions. And the question is, what are the steps to create a new international study second language like this? So here, according to our groups here, there are 4 points that we have to know about the step to create a new model. The first is analysis, the second is design, the third development, and the last is implementation. Why we have to analysis first? Because if analysis, we have to know what the I mean like this. Why we have to put the analysis in the first step? Because analysis can help us about bahasa itu dibutuhkan atau tidak. The language is net or not with dengan kebutuhan kita sehari-hari seperti itu. Dan di sini ada second language kan. Yang kedua, kita itu harus mempunyai desain. Desain here, I mean desain. Dalam desain ini kita nanti memilih bahasa yang akan kita sampaikan untuk Okay. Desain here, we have to choose about just the word. We have to who will explain to another student or another friend or another family or another people in the society and the model of methods. This is we have to design for transferring our knowledge or our language. This the second, and the third is development. Development is we have to develop our ability, I mean our skills. If we found the good method or good model or good analysis and design, here design is the word or language or what is it? The model and I mean the language and the method to transfer the knowledge or the second language here to be fluent. We have to develop our our skill as I stated. And the second, and the last is implementation. After we analysis, after we design, after we choose or found the good method or good model or good language, and after we develop our skills, and the last step is implementation. We have to implementation our skill or our knowledge in order that our knowledge here will develop every day, and will develop, I think, will be better in the future. I think this is the step to create a new instructional model.
And I want to ask about the steps. And after the 4 steps that is given by the speaker, we need to do the important step is evaluation. So after all of the step, we need to evaluate what is the benefit and what is the kekurangan, disadvantage to create a more better instructional model. And I think that's to the next.
So here there are 5 points. After implementation, we have evaluations about the less, about the kekurangan and kelebihan. This way there is add and
So it is general admin, and I will satisfied for the step, for the 5 steps especially that are analysis and what's the second? Design.
Yes.
Design, and the third is development, and the fourth is
implementation,
and the last
evaluations.
Beautiful. Thank you. I will satisfied for the question, but you still don't answer my.
Okay, the second question. And the second your question is the best method to learn second language. The the best method, I think they are no method for for study of for learning second language, but their best way, I mean ada satu cara yaitu adalah direct communications. If you study about or if you take English course and they anywhere English course, your teacher must order you to practice every day. Practice every day. This is. I mean, there are no method for learning second language, but I mean the best way is direct communications. Practice every day. This is the good way or the best way for learning second language. If you're not satisfied with my questions, you can take proof to another place, especially in Paris. You know Paris. This is if you study about the second language of taking English about English, but you never practice. I mean, your communication or your speaking will not good and your like me. I mean like me, not good and not fluent. Masih terpegang-pegang seperti itu. Best way.
Ada banyak raja api dulu.
I think I don't really satisfied because you said just now that it's not a matter of foreign language, especially English. But I ever see that I ever see in the internet that I look at many methods there, but I think I don't really satisfied really. But in the way of study second foreign language, second language especially, that has a different way for other person or special one person especially else.
You said just now you ever seen in the internet. Maybe you can give me the link or the blog spot. Yeah, the website. I think today I will search things and I will see if it's true or not. I'm sorry, I don't believe the another one here because in the world nothing human to tidak ada seorang yang bisa dipercaya. So yeah, I'm sorry because as I know, second language is It's the study of language. Yang harus memang terbiasa habit to actions. Second language, as we know that about the United Kingdom, this is second language. If as foreign language, we have to study, and this is the method. If as foreign language, the method, the way or technique, this can, as we know that in the tables. Maybe you can give me the link. Maybe my pengetahuan still so far from you. I'm so sorry.
Okay, thank you. I will share the link, but it's the one link. But I have made a link this in my question. It's about the method.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sultan.
Okay, we have a question from Mr. Yudi.
Yeah, right.
Please explain more about the study of pragmatic and ensemble. Pragmatic deals with the use of language in context. When speakers form utterance in context, they accomplish the links interactional acts and speech acts. Interactional acts concern how they open and close consultation, and how they spend acts to ensure a coherent conversation. Speech act constitute acts by language user from specific action, particularly interpersonal functions such as compliment, apologize, request, or complaint. Study of pragmatics also focus on studying of what extent second language learner will be able to use native like politeness strategies. For example, in the Polity Speak Act, an Indonesian learner of language English apologizes for coming to claim, "I'm really very sorry. I'm very forgot the time." Of course, when learners has chosen appropriate formula, but rest in incorrectly.
So, for your answer, the conclusion is pragmatic itself. There are two things or accomplish. The first, interactional X and speech test. For interactional X, consider how the open and closed conversation, while the speech test constitute attempt by language user to perform specific action. Yeah, thank you for your answer. Okay.
So the conclusion in this discussion today is learner language is what learners say or write when they are trying to communicate spontaneously in the language they are learning. Thank you. If there is a mistake, please forgive us. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.